If your 3D print look like this, you probably have your bridge settings wrong, and in this video I would love to help you out figure out your best bridge settings so that you can have the perfect print quality and even eliminate supports that would have to be under the bridges if you didn't have the bridge settings correctly. And who would like to waste filament and time on supports if you can just perfect your bridge settings and then don't need the supports at all? I designed this very simple bridge test model so that we can actually calibrate it on your own printer because the settings may depend. Of course, I will show you my best settings because I think they are a great starting point for everybody. The first important thing is to understand that bridging is basically the printer going between two things that are already printed and making a line over them. And so what we want to happen is for the filament to cool down as fast as possible. For this reason, the first setting that we need to concentrate on is the cooling. For the best bridges, I would recommend putting the cooling to 100%. And to make the line as rigid as possible between these two objects, we can actually help the temperature even by printing it at a lower temperature from the start. I would recommend lowering down the printing temperature somewhere between 5 to 10 degrees below the normal printing temperature. The next most important part is the bridge flow ratio, which is very often overlooked, because what that says is how much filament will be extruded from the nozzle. So if you set the bridge flow ratio higher, there will be more filament, and if lower, there will be less. But if you are making the longer bridges, the higher the flow ratio, the more filament there will be for the printer to catch on while it's traveling the long distance. So for longer bridges, I would recommend increasing it to 1.5, but for the shorter ones, I would recommend decreasing it somewhere around 0.8 to 0.7. And for shorter bridges, I mean something below 30 millimeters, around there. Then, since we are already extruding more filament, how fast will we extrude it is also important. And for this, I found that lowering down the speed of the bridges actually helps the cooling down, so it even makes better bridges. And the best results that I got were with 10 millimeters per second. And if you are printing actually very long bridges, there's a new feature that you can turn on, which is called thick bridges, which is only for very long distances, something above 70 millimeters, which not all slicers have. But if you have it and you are printing a longer bridge, definitely turn it on. Now try to apply these settings with the model, with your filament and with your 3D printer and see what it does. And after you see it, you should be able to move from there and adjust it for your own need. And just like this, you should be able to get a lot better bridges, and I hope this improves your prints.